Hello there, good morning. The UK government says carbon capture and storage is vital as questions are now raised about how quickly a project in the northeast will come on stream, which could boost hopes of finding a buyer for Scotland's only oil refinery in Grangemouth. That's set to close by next year with a loss of 400 jobs. Elsewhere this morning, the FBI is carrying out a survey of victims of the Lockerbie bombing in advance of the trial of a Libyan suspect in Washington next year. And lastly, this morning, businesses in Fort William say congestion issues in the town are at crisis point. OK, let's get the weather now. Here's Gillian. And that's all from us for the moment, but we'll be back with another update for you in around half an hour's time, so I do hope that you can join us for that. Bye for now. Hello there, good morning. Scotland's only oil refinery in Grangemouth is set to close by next summer with the loss of 400 jobs. The UK government says carbon capture and storage is vital as questions are now asked about how quickly a project in the northeast will come on stream, which could boost hopes for finding a buyer for the Grangemouth refinery. Elsewhere this morning, the FBI is carrying out a survey of victims of the Lockerbie bombing in advance of the trial of a Libyan suspect in Washington next year. The agency is trying to find out if people directly affected by the atrocity want to watch online when the case against Abu Ajila Masood gets underway. David Cowan reports. Businesses in Fort William say congestion issues in the town are at crisis. Time for the forecast now. Good morning to Gillian. OK, Gillian, thank you very much for the update. And that's all from us for now, but we'll see you again in around half an hour. Bye-bye. Hello there, good morning. The First Minister is to meet Grangemouth workers and local politicians later. Elsewhere this morning, the Chief Executive of Edinburgh Rape Crisis Centre has stood down. An independent review said... And lastly, the FBI is carrying out a survey of victims of the Lockerbie bombing in advance of the trial of a Libyan suspect. That's all for now, but I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Elsewhere this morning, the Chief Executive of Edinburgh Rape Crisis has stood down after a review found the centre failed to protect women. OK, let's take a look at the weather forecast for you now. Here is Gillian. And now it's over to Stephen Jardine to find out what's happening over on BBC Radio Scotland. Thank you for that, Stephen. And that's all from us for the moment, but I'll have the last of your morning headlines here at around 9:10. I do hope that you can join me. Bye-bye. Hello there, good morning. The First Minister is to meet Grangemouth workers and local politicians later. Elsewhere this morning, the Chief Executive of Edinburgh Rape Crisis has stood down after a review found the centre failed to protect women. The FBI is carrying out a survey of victims of the Lockerbie bombing in advance of the trial of a Libyan suspect in Washington next year. And lastly, the delivery of the Glen Sannox ferry has been pushed back one... OK, time for your weather forecast now. Good morning to Gillian Smart.
Good morning, Sarah.
OK, Gillian, thank you very much for the update. And that's all from us here this morning, but we'll be back with your lunchtime news at around 1:30. See you then. Bye-bye. And on Reporting Scotland, the First Minister meets... Hello there, good afternoon. The First Minister says Petro-Ineos has been premature in taking the decision to close Grangemouth oil refinery. John Swinney also denied a lack of action from his government over the closure, although unions have accused both the Scottish and UK governments of not doing enough to prepare for a transition away from fossil fuels. Well, our business correspondent David Henderson is in Grangemouth for us this lunchtime. And David, the First Minister been meeting with representatives of the workforce at Grangemouth. OK, David, thank you very much for the update. The Chief Executive of a sexual assault support service is resigning after a review found it failed to protect women-only spaces. Midril Wadwa, a trans woman, is standing down after she was found to have failed to behave professionally while head of Edinburgh Rape Crisis Centre. With more now, here's our reporter Stephen Gordon. Stephen Gordon reporting there. Well, elsewhere this lunchtime, businesses are warning traffic congestion in and around Fort William is damaging the local economy. Lochaber Chamber of Commerce says getting through the town has been a problem for years, but the situation is getting worse and harming potential investment in the area. Ian McInnes went along to find out a bit more. And finally, the Glasgow to London sleeper service is normally a quiet overnight train journey, but that's all about to change in the new BBC One drama Night Sleeper. And you can see a bit more on that story tonight on Reporting Scotland at 6:30. But for now, let's take a look at your weather forecast with Joy. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
A very cold one this morning, Joy, wasn't it? Thank you very much for that. And that's all from us here at this lunchtime. Sally Magnuson is back with Reporting Scotland tonight. But for now, it's back to Lewis. Bye-bye.